Hey everyone, Michigan here. Welcome back to the channel. And you are joining me for my first game in the Fantome, which is the Tier 9, I believe it's a French reward vehicle, with a very nifty autoloader. Now, this tank has some stats that are not great. However, you have to remember this is a free vehicle, and it's not a premium, it's a reward vehicle. So just keep that in mind. It will not make the same credits. Now, the big feature of this tank is that it has a 4-round autoloader, 360 damage per shell, with 3.5 seconds interclip, which means it has a DPM of, I think, about 1600, which is pretty bad. So you're not going to be really dishing out the damage like you would be in a lot of other Tier 9 mediums. This tank also does not have a lot of armor from the front. The turret's okay. The hull definitely is not. And it does have 8 degrees of gun depression with its hydropneumatic suspension. So you're not going to be blocking a lot of shots with it. Now, I'm here on the Westfield map, and it is a Tier 8 game, or Tier 9 game, so I am top tier. And I just got my first shot off ever against the Squall in this vehicle for a nice roll of 354. Now, I should note that this tank's crew is only 3. Big tank for only 3 crew members, so your batch check crew will fit nicely in this. Now, not the greatest situation there against that Fantome. Luckily, the second one connects, and we are now on our very long reload of about 29 seconds. You can see the accuracy base is about 0.36 on this vehicle, so I have bumped it up a little bit with vents. I'm running a turbo, vents, and vert stabs. I don't know if the vert stabs are needed just because you have a 3.5 second interclip. However, that was a free piece of equipment, and so I decided to throw it on there. I mean, it can't hurt. Anyway, I'm going to tell this LT-432 that I am ready to shoot into the middle. I'm loaded, 4 shells in the magazine. Let's go see what this LT-432 spots. I'm up here with a Type 61 who's watching the other side very nicely against that G-SOAR tank. And the LT-432 spots the Leopard. I don't think he gets lit. However, he does spot a Fantome. And now you're going to see what this clip is able to do. You can see against large, soft targets, it's not that hard to hit with this vehicle. There's our third shot. And there we go, dealing well over 1,000 damage and a fire. I was really hoping he wouldn't have a fire extinguisher. I'm waiting, hoping he dies, but unfortunately not. Now, this Type 61 does not have any camo, and I don't have historical camo turned off, so to me, that's sometimes a measure of, hey, you know, what is he going to do? To me, I put a camo on everything. Maybe it's just sort of a bias I have, but I like to see everybody with a camo on. He is going to be working that backside very nicely, using that gun depression, making sure that he doesn't engage the targets on the 0 line that are still in the bushes. And now I'm going to work against an enemy Fantome. And we're going to put one in. Now you can see that this tank has, with its APCR rounds, it has 250, 260 penetration. So it's not too hard to pen the tank. I am bouncing a little bit. I've bounced 2 Fantome shots already. And we're going to look for that last one. Take one, get one in return. Unfortunately, we lost that a little bit. And now I am just going to back up. I'm very sorry about this Type 61. I'm just trying really hard not to die here. He luckily gets out as well. And now I've decided that I'm going to abandon this position. Now, I do have to keep in mind that there's that enemy Fantome that's still in the middle. However, I doubt that he's going to want to stick around given how much damage he just took. Now, I'm not going to abandon this Type 61 completely, however, because if I give him the 0 line, they are just going to sweep, kill the artillery. So I'm going to work as a bit of a spotter. You're going to be able to see what the Fantome does on a ridgeline. So I'm going to look up. Immediately, I take one from the Fantome, which knocks out my turret. But I'm going to kill the enemy Fantome for my first kill of the game. And I'm going to auto-lock on that G-SOAR. I'm going to aim the next one. I can't tell if the G-SOAR is paying attention or not. Doesn't quite look like he is. Not sure where that shell went. It definitely critted. Maybe got eaten by the track. Bounce another from the enemy Fantome. We can kind of see where a lot of these shots are going. Now, if you get dead center in the turret, it's going to pen. But if you hit it off to the side, it is quite angled. And these will be auto ricochets on the edge of the turret. So you do have to aim. That puts us up to 4,338 damage and 1,300 assist, which is a great result this early in the game. Now, I'm thinking about switching flanks just to get some more damage in. However, I can't leave my team out to dry here until this 432 comes up. And so instead, I'm going to wait and see if I can spot this Leopard and the G-SOAR. Team's doing quite well right now. We're up by 7,000 hit points with the Kalana destroying the enemy 252U. And we're up by 2 tanks. So you can see the SU-130 is blind firing a little bit in there. I'm looking for this Fantome, and I'm thinking, do I want to back up through the ridge here? But the Leopard pops up, and now I'm going to look for him. Now, I'm thinking about crossing. However, the G-Sword is still there. So if the G-Sword starts firing his Hesh rounds, then that's going to be quite a bad situation for me. But I'm thinking about doing it anyway. However, the G-Sword gets lit. I'm thinking about auto-locking. I'm going to put one in. And we're going to put the second one in, killing the G-Sword. And now we have 2 shells. It'll take us 2 shells to kill the Leopard. The Leopard pops up on the backside. And so I'm backing all the way down just because I'm acutely aware there's still a GW Tiger P. The LT-432 is coming up, and this Leopard's taking quite a few hits, so I'm going to see if he'll come up. Going to just sneak one in there against him for a nice roll of 338. Again, a little low. And thinking about getting the second one. He's side on to me. I bounce him. No idea what happened with that shot. That was a little ridiculous. I swore that was right on the side of the Leopard. So we're going to get denied that kill, but that puts us up to 5,181 damage. Just going to make sure I get unlit in case the waffle is down there. And we are going to speed this up. Just towards the end, the LT is going to go find that waffle. And I'm just hoping, can I get another shot in with this vehicle? I'm sort of keeping my gun over there. And right about now, that waffle should be up. And we're going to look, I mean, we're just going to fire a fully aimed shot. Doesn't even land in the zip code. Team is going to take out the WT, at least the LT-432. Definitely deserved that kill. And now it's just the artillery. And he gets blind fired by the Conqueror. And we get our first win in the Fantome, finishing off with 5,181 damage and 2 kills. Let's go take a look at the post-game result. Okay, we finished this battle with a first-class mastery badge, high caliber, bruiser, fire for effect, and then all of the ones you normally get. I think it's sharpshooter and something else just for penning shots and hitting shots in a row. You normally get these on your first couple of games. And then spotter for our assistance damage. We were top of our team on damage with 5,181 damage. 2 kills. We were kind of robbed there. We should have had 3. Unfortunately, that shot on the Leopard, I don't know what it did or where it went, but it did not bend the tank, obviously. And again, we were top on our team with 1,294 damage, or 94 XP. We made 71,000 credits. We fired not a lot of gold there, actually. So we didn't really have any ammunition cost. And we ended up profiting after we completed our mission. We ended up profiting almost 150,000 credits. After all of our boosters, premium account, all of that fun stuff, that was a 10,000 XP game in just short of 1,000 free XP. So again, I was pleasantly surprised. I did not think that on my first game playing the Fantome, I would get a high caliber. But here we are, and you just watched it. So let me know what you think of the tank. I'm actually happy with this vehicle. I don't know if I would rush out to play it again, just because the damage output is a little low, especially with that DPM. But you can see when you get into a nice position and you get good spots, you can really do some damage with this vehicle. So again, thank you so much for watching my high caliber, first class, not an ace tanker, unfortunately, game in the Fantome, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.